गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज Wait, let me just start over. My mind wasn't focused. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttarashita Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttarashita Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttarashita Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Ashuttarashita Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttarashita Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadass Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय श्री जय श्री भजन-rahasya की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टक की जय। जय महाप्रभु's associate श्री वक्रेश्वर पंडित की जय। तदीय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रीनिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि ओम। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। sorry. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tividito Koriya Gurvanvaye Bhat Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Maya Varati Mingilo Daragatan Udritya Jiva Niman Krishna Prema Sudabdikahana Sukham Pradat Prabhung Tang Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastra Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhim Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gauravirbhava Bhumestam Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vrishabhanusutan Vitavamatanu Yamuna Tatanagaranandasutam मुरलीकलगीतविनोरपरं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुं स्मर गौरगदाधरकेलिकलं भव गौरगदाधरपाक्षचर शृणु गौरगदाधर चारुकथं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुम् तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय देवी त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम् भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे श्रीस्वरूपराय सङ्गहर्षशेषघोषणं शिक्षणाष्टकाख्यकृष्णकीर्तनैकपोषणं प्रेम नाम मात्र विश्वजीवनैकसम्भरं प्रेमधाम देवम् एव नौमि गौरसुन्दरम् प्रेमोर्भावितहर्षैर्योद्वेगदन्यर्तिमिश्रितम् लपिताङ्गुरचन्द्रस्य भाग्यवर्भिर्निषेव्यते प्रभुर्शिक्षाष्टकश्लोकजयपुरेशुने कृष्णे प्रेम भक्ति तार बारे dine dine. Whoever reads or hears the Lord's Shikshashtak verses will find their prem bhakti to Krishna growing more and more each day. Shikshashtaka chinta koro smarana kirtan Grame ashtakala seva habe uddipan Shakala anartha jabe pabe prem dhan Chatur varga falgu pray habe adarshan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, contemplate the Shikshashtak and engage in smaran and kirtan. Gradually, service throughout the 8 divisions of the day will be awakened. All anarthas will disappear, and you will attain the treasure of prem. The 4 aims of worldly life will appear trivial and fade from view. Jai Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka ki jai. Okay, so now we'll recite the Shikshashtak. 1 second. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha tavagni nirvapanam Shreyakairava vitaranam vidyavado jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita svadanam Sarvatma snapanang parang vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishamiha Janina Nuraga Trinarapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Na Dhanang Na Janang Na Sundaring Kavitam Va Jagarisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatar Bhaktir Ahaituki Tvai Ainandatanu Kinkaram Patitang Mam Vishame Bhavam Budho Kripaya Tava Para Pankaja Stithadhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya Nayanam Galarashudharaya Vadanam Gadgadarudaya Gira Pulakarnichitam vapu kada tava nama grahane bhavishyati. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me ashlishava parartang pinashtumam adarshanan marma hatang kurotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatulam pato mat prananatastu sa eva na para. Jai Shri Shikṣāṣṭaka ki jai. Right. Let's see all who is joined. Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sharan Prada Prabhu, Ganga Mataji, and whoever else is watching there on YouTube and Facebook. I only see one comment so far. There's 6 people there watching though. If you write a comment, I'll see your name, but maybe Rohini Nandan Prabhu is there, and Dita Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, I don't know. And also pranams to all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi and Jayade Prabhu, Revati Didi, Haribo. All right, so we are continuing on with reading Shri Bhajana-rahasya. Yeah. So today we are, and also today is the auspicious appearance day of Shri Vakareshwar Pandit. And so maybe we could also read a little something about him from Srila Bhakti Bhagavatirtha Goswami Maharaj's book, Sri Gauranga and His Associates. So today will be a short program since I started late. Okay, so yesterday, after Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in this first Pratam Yama Sādhana of Bhajana-rahasya, after he goes through and explains in detail, he gives all these verses that illuminate the 7 excellent results of Krishna Nam Sankirtan, all the Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidya Vadu Jivanam, Anandam Bodhipardhanam, Pratipadam Punamrita Swadanam, Sarvatmasnapanam, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So after he finishes going through all these different verses, highlighting these 7 excellent results, then he gives these 2 verses from Krishna Namashtak. It started with a verse from Krishna Namashtak, like right after Chaitanya. It's kind of like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave the first verse of Shikṣāṣṭakam, and then he to explain that, like the first thing that he gave to explain Cheto Darpana Marjanam is this beautiful verse from Srila Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtak. What is it? Ramya Chirgana. Oh yeah, Suditashita Janarti Rashaye. That verse. Ramya Chirgana Sukha Surupine Nama Gokula Mahotsavayate Krishna Purna Vapushe Namo Namaha. I think something like that. So he gives that beautiful verse from Krishna Namashtak, and which explains how Harinam is the ultimate. Even the Abbas of Harinam will clean the mirror of the heart. And so Harinam is so powerful. There's nothing more powerful. It's Krishna himself. So, and not only is it powerful, but it's full of the condensed, delightful, transcendental. It is the very embodiment of that, of delight, transcendental nectar. And it's a festival of Gokul, and it's the complete form of Bhagavan, of Krishna, Sri Krishna himself, not just any incarnation but no, Krishna himself is complete form, Purna Vapu, right? I think it said something like that. And so he gives that verse from Krishna Namashtak, and then he gives a bunch of other verses from all different shastras to explain the other, all the other 7 excellent results of Krishna Nam Sankirtan, and then he ends it with 2 more verses from Krishna-namashtaka. So he begins and ends with Krishna-namashtaka. And so yesterday we went through the 2 verses that he gives at the end. He gives verse number 8 and verse number 2 of Krishna-namashtaka. So the first verse is Narad Vino Jivana Sudhormi Niryasa Madhuri Pura Tam Krishna Nama Kamam Spurame Rasane Rasena Sada. O you who gives life to Narad's Vina, Vino Jivan, Ujjivan, like Sanjivan of the Vina. O crest of the waves upon the transcendental ocean of nectar. Or oh, you who are you are the nectar waves of the essence, of the extract of sweetness, the shower of sweetness, Madhuripura. Oh, Krishnanam, Kamam, of your own will, of your own volition, of your own sweet will, Spura, manifest me, rasane, on my tongue, rasena, filled with ras, sada, always, always manifest upon my tongue, filled with ras. So he gives that verse, and then he gives this verse, Jaya Nama Deya Muni Vrindageya Janaranjanaya Paramakshara Krite Tamanadara Managutiritam Nikilogratapa Patalim Vilumpasi. Oh Harinam, all glories to you, Jaya Nama Deya. O you who are glorified by the Munis, Muni Vrindageya. And you have taken the form, the akriti, the very, form of the supreme syllables, param akshara, the supreme combination of syllables. You are the very form of the supreme combination of syllables to give ranjan, to give delight to the jana, to the people, or it can mean the devotees, or it could also mean the Vrajajan, the Vrajavasis. It means all 3 of those things. Satvam anadaradapi managudiritam. If you are uttered, udiritam means if you're uttered, manag, even once, one time, api, even. If you're uttered once, even anadarad, that means neglectfully, without any honor or respects, you're just, even then, nikilogra tapa patalim vilumpasi. Even then, you vilumpasi. The word vilumpasi, I just, one second. It means like to erase or make vanish. I think in Bengali it's vilupta, right? So you extinguish, or you abolish, or you erase. You make it vanish. You make it disappear. All the nikila means entirety. Ugratap means ferocious suffering and like ugra means intense and like very heavy suffering. Patalim is like a mountain, a heap, pile. So you make it all disappear. Okay, so, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jiva Shiva Lagi Paramakshara Akar Muni Vrindagaya Shraddha Kori Anivar Jai Jai Harinam Akilo Gratap Nash Koro Helagane E Boro Pratap. Okay, so now after that, Srila Bhakti, and Haribo Raseshwari Mataji. So after that, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gives these, so now we heard Srila Rupa Goswami, we heard the glorifications and Nam Tattva from, first he started with Srila Rupa Goswami, then he gave from Srimad Bhagavatam and so many other places, and then he ended with Rupa Goswami. And now let's hear from the Vedas themselves, the Rig Veda. The most ancient scriptures even describe the truth, describe Nam Tattva. Okay, so it gives, there are 3 verses. Om Yetar Brahmano Nedishtam Nama Yasmar Ucharayamana. I don't know the meter for this. Eva Sangsara Bhayat Tarayati Tasmar Uchate Tara Iti. I have a feeling this isn't a verse. Let's just check. I'm not sure if you ever saw, I made a post once about Just my last post on Vine of Devotion. Is it my last post? Or second to the last post. But when I don't know a meter, I'm having a difficult time figuring it out. I give the link for both of these on that post. But there is this thing called meter identifier, Sanskrit meter identifier. So I just put the verse in, identify verse, and it looks like this. I think this is not a verse. Looks like, because look how much red there is there. It's not a verse. This is pretty sure this is some prose, Sanskrit prose. Just checking the Bengali book. Is it? Yeah, here they don't have it. Anyways, I don't know. So one who chants Om, which is very close to Brahma, here meaning the Supreme Lord, and which indicates Brahma, is liberated from the fear of the material world. Therefore, Om is famous by the name Taraka Brahma. Taraka Brahma means the deliverer, transcendental deliverer, Brahma. Taraka means to deliver, and then we know Nam Brahma, transcendental name. It's not really a way to translate Brahma, but yeah. Okay, and then now, so that was from the Rig Veda, and now here's another verse from the Rig Veda. The Vedas, the Rig Veda 156.3, describe the truth of the holy name, Nam Tattva. Om Asya Jananto Nam Chir Vivaktam Mahaste Vishnu Sumating Pajamahe Om Tat Sat. O Vishnu, all the Vedas appear from your name, which is fully conscious and all illuminating. Your name is the personification of transcendence, and supreme bliss. And it is the embodiment of spiritual knowledge, which is easily obtained. I worship you by thoughtfully performing continuous chanting of your name. And now, again, the Rig Veda, and also Srimad Bhagavatam 12.639 states, Tato bhutri vrid onkaro yo vyakta prabhava swarat yat lingam bhagavato brahmana paramatmana. So it has the three, Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahma. Let's see what the translation says. Shri Bhagavan is imperceptible. I guess that's avyakta, right? Yo avyakta. He is avyakta. He is imperceptible. He is both undivided and divided. Okay. The transcendental vibration Om is his manifestation. And he is manifest in the three forms of Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The three syllables in the Omkar represent the names Hari, Krishna, and Ram. The name of Hari is non-different from Hari himself. Okay, let's see what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says now. Avyakta hoite Krishna svarata swatantra Brahma Atma Bhagavan Lingatray Tantra Akar Ukara Ar Makara Nirdesh Om Hari Krishna Ram Namer Vishesh Hari hoite abhinna sakala hari naam Vacha vachaka bhede purna kore kam. Hmm. Okay, so let's see. What's this mean? Avyakta hoite Krishna swarat swatantra. So from the avyakta, avyakta means like unmanifest, right? Or unperceptible. Let's look up the word avyakta. Avyakta. Avyakta means not manifest, indistinct, latent, unknown, inexpressible, indescribable. But I think here it means not manifest. So from, and hoite means from. So from the unmanifest, Krishna, who is Swarat and Swatantra. I don't actually know what the difference in the meaning between Swarat and Swatantra is. They're pretty much synonymous as far as I know. Like Swarat means he is his own ruler. He is and Swatantra means he's independent. So they both kind of mean the same thing. There's no, um, yeah. And then, so Avyakta Hoite Krishna Swarat Swatantra. So from the unmanifest, Krishna, the independent controller, the independent ruler, Brahma Atma Bhagavan Linga Trai Tantra. What's Tantra? Tantra. As you know, this is my personal study session. So I'm looking at this all for the first time and I'm trying to figure everything out. I haven't like done it beforehand. So Tantra. System. Huh. Interesting. Linga Trai Tantra. So these are the three. I got it. I can't do it. Sorry, guys. Linga Trai Tantra. So Akar, Ukar, Ar, Makar, Nirdesh. Om Hari Krishna Ram Namer Vishesh. So he's indicated, Nirdesh, he's indicated that Bhagavan, that who's who's in the form of Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan. These are his three aspects of his form. But Krishna is that supremely independent Krishna, which manifests from the unmanifest. He is unmanifest, but then he becomes manifest, right? I don't know. So he is indicated by Om, which is divided into three different parts. There's the Akar, Ukar, and Makar. Om, like that. So that Om Hari Krishna Ram Namer Vishesh. So Om is specifically it is represents Hari, Krishna, and Ram. And that's in the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So I guess, does that mean like the Mahamantra is contained within Om also indirectly? Because Ma and Hare Krishna Ram? I don't know. Think so. Then Hari Hoite Abhinna Shakala Harinam. All of Krishna's names, all Harinam is abhinna, completely non-different from Hari. And they're distinguished by the Vachya and Vachak. Purna Korekam. Sorry, no. I'm not translating this right. But Purna Korekam. Anyways, we know Vachya means who is indicated by the name, and Vachak is, or no, that's not the right way. Let's see. We've translated this word Vachya, Vachak. Or Vachya is the expressible, fit to be spoken. It's he who is expressed, the person who is indicated through expression, whatever. And then Vachak is that that expression, kind of. The person being expressed is the Vachya. So that's Nami. And Vachak is the expression itself, or Nam. Anyways, I don't fully understand it, so I'm not going to keep on trying to explain it. But Okay, now we come. But anyhow, this is evidence from the Rig Veda, these three verses about Nam Tattva. And how Nam Tattva is the Nam is completely non-different from Nami. It is Nam and how it is it is the embodiment of spiritual knowledge, it is easily obtained, it is and it is the ultimate deliverer. Yeah. So it's Nam Tattva. Sorry, guys, I couldn't explain this very well. Okay, now Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this is, I think one of all, I don't know, I have to see the other chapters, but I think this is like one of the only Bengali verses that he quotes, um, like as part of one of the main texts, not something that he wrote. He gives this verse from Chaitanya Bhagavat, from the Madhya Kanda, chapter 23, verses 77 to 78. So Mahaprabhu says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. प्रभु बोले कोहि लाया ए महामंत्र इहा जप गिया सबे कोरिया निर्बंध ইহা হইতে সর্বসিদ্ধি হইবে সবার সর্বক্ষণ বলো ইথে বিধি নাহি আর So the Lord says, chant this Maha Mantra. When you go to chant this Maha Mantra, oh no. Iha japa giya sabe Korea nirbanda. All of you go to chant this japa, chant this Maha Mantra, keeping a fixed number, right? Nirbanda means fixed number. Or no, am I not? Let's see how we translated it in the Gaudiya Gita Gusha. But then from this, iha hoite, from this, sarva siddhi, all perfection, hoibe savar, will be all perfection for all of you will be obtained. You'll obtain perfection in everything. So sarva kanbolo, so all the time you should chant ite vidi nahi ar, and there are no rules for chanting this name. Let's see. Okay, the translation's here. The Lord said, regularly chant this Maha Mantra, and this way you will attain all perfection. Chant at any time and in any circumstance. There are no other rules for chanting. I'm going to see the translation we made because we're going to include this in the songbook. So here. I think this is it. Let's see. Yeah, Sriman Mahaprabhu said, I have given you this Maha Mantra. All of you go and chant it with steady resolve. Okay, so I translated Korea Nirbanda with steady resolve. Yeah, so all of you go and chant it with steady resolve. By chanting this Maha Mantra, every one of you will attain all perfection. So continue chanting at every moment. No restrictions apply. No restrictions apply. That's like the second verse of Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka, right? So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives this verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What time is it? 7:40. And I haven't fully understood this verse yet. Yeah, so this is something I need to look into. I found it in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu yesterday. Yeah, you want to see how it's, there's no commentary for it or anything like that. Just gives this verse. Let's just look at the general meaning of this verse, but then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur highlights here. What is it? 1, 2, 103. Okay. Let's type in 1, 2, 103. 1, 2, oops. Oh, sorry. One, why is it not changing? 1, 2, 103. There it is. Okay, so the context, I think it's right after Pancharat. Okay, so it gives this verse, and this is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Eastern Division, second chapter. And so it gives this famous verse, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatan Vidindina. Even if a person seems to have attained steadiness and practicing pure bhakti to the Lord, that bhakti is a misfortune if it rejects the rules of Shruti, Smriti, Purana, and Pancharatra due to lack of faith in them. Or utpatyaiva kalpate, it only causes disturbance. That person's bhakti only causes disturbance if they're just not following the rules of Shruti like that. They're just so, and then he gives this verse. This type of bhakti appears to be pure only because of misjudging the facts. So looks like pure bhakti externally, but that's just because it appears that way, but it's just that the person's misjudging the facts. Actually, it is not aikantiki bhakti at all, because lack of scriptural obedience is seen in it. And then Srila Rupa Goswami gives this verse that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is quoting. So now inquiry into bhakti. Saddharma pricha. Yeah, now inquiring into saddharma, the pure dharma. Okay, so now we know what is not pure dharma. If you're trying to engage in bhakti that's not following the rules of scriptures, then that's very not good. That's not bhakti. So what is bhakti? What is the pure path? What is saddharma? Well, in the Naradiya Purana, gives this verse. It says, Achirad eva sarvartha siddhyatyesham abhipsita saddharmasya vabhodaya yesham nirbandhini mati. Here's that word, nirbandha. I wonder if that's why he quoted this verse also, is because of this word nirbandha. Like Mahaprabhu gave this instruction, Koriya nirbandha. Chant with steady resolve. And then this verse also has nirbandhini mati. It's the same thing. Let's see how it says. Those whose minds are attached to understanding bhakti to the Lord quickly attain all their desired goals. I guess here they translated nirbandhini as attached. Achirad eva sarvarta siddha abhipsitam. They have all their desired goals is abhipsita, desired goals. And siddhyati is it's perfected, I guess. I don't know, as a guess. Achirad, and very quickly. Eva sarvartha, all. Huh. Nirbandhini mati. Saddharmasya vabhodaya yesham. I don't know about this translation also. I have to look at a different translation. But here it says, those whose minds are attached to understanding bhakti to the Lord, they quickly attain all their desired goals. Now let's see how it is translated here. The holy name is the bestower of all perfection. Okay, so here it's saying, what is the siddhati esham abhipsita? What is that thing that gives perfection to all one's abhipsita, all one's desired, uh, cherished desires? It is Harinam. So, and those who continuously chant Harinam with such firm faith and conviction, they quickly obtain the fruit of prem. Achirad, very quickly. Sarvartha. Sarvartha, I guess, is like all goals, yeah, right? Artha is like there's the four goals of human life, our material goals at least. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Sarvartha. And what is the Purusha, Prem Purushartha, right? The supreme Artha for mankind is prem. It's the prem purushartha. And so Harinam gives perfection in all one's desired goals, especially prem. Very quickly, achirat. Sadharmasya vabodhaya. Avabodha though. Avabodha, I think that doesn't that refer to understanding? Avabodha. Let's look that word up in the Sanskrit dictionary. Sanskrit dictionary here. Avabodha. I think that's what I have to look up. I don't know. It's my guess. Avabodha. Let's see what comes up. Avabodha means waking, being awake, perception, knowledge, judgment, action, awakening, informing. Correct understand. No, that's knowledge, consciousness. Interesting. Okay. So those here, Bhanuswami translates it as understanding bhakti. Those were attached to understanding bhakti. And now here, I don't really see this word here, but maybe I'm just not understanding it. Anyhow, let's see how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this verse. He says, Nirbandhini mati saha Krishna nama kore ati shigra prem phal she nama dhore. Okay, so that person who does Krishna Nam, who chants Krishna Nam with, saha means with, mati with minds, that is nirbandhini. We'll look up this word nirbandhini. Then ati shigra, then very quickly, prem phal, the fruit of prem she nam dhore. The fruit of prem is by chanting this name, one attains the fruit of prem very quickly. Ati shigra. And the verse says achirat. Okay, let's look up the word nirbandhini, because now it's come up three times. Here, Korya nirbandha, and the previous verse. In this verse, it says Yesham nirbandhini mati, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says nirbandhini mati. So what's nirbandha actually mean? Nirbandha. Oops. Nirbandha. Eagerness, zeal, incessant solicitation, intentness, attachment. Okay, so with eagerness and intentness, very strongly, incessant solicitation. So with, incessantly praying, with minds like that, completely focused and intense and eager, chanting Krishna Nam in that way, then ati shiga prem phal she nam tari. One's chanting of the name will very quickly give one the fruit of prem. Okay. So, oh yeah, and this verse also says, Mahaprabhu says sarva siddhi, and this verse says sarvartha, sarva siddhi. So yeah, these verses are very similar. What Mahaprabhu says here, Korya nirbandha, sarva siddhi, sarva kan, and does it say anything about quickly? No. But anyways, and in this verse also, achirat, very quickly, sarvartha, siddhi, siddhati, abhipsita. Yeah, so these verses both go together. Nirbandhini also. All right, cool. So I'm just trying to get the flow. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives all this evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially Rupa Goswami, his glorification of Nam Tattva. Then he explains, and okay, you want that to be backed up by the Vedas, like by the Rig Veda, even the most ancient scriptures ever, the Rig Veda. So here's 3 verses establishing the Tattva and glory of the name. And so now here's Mahaprabhu's instructions. Okay, so now without a doubt, you understand Nam Tattva, you know the glories of the name, and it's backed up by Shastra, by the most ancient scriptures. And so now now he's giving, okay, and so now that you know the glories, this is Mahaprabhu's instructions for how to chant. So this end part of Bhajana-rahasya is all about how to chant. And first of it, yeah, like it's Mahaprabhu's instructions to chant and how to do it. So you must chant with your mind completely absorbed, fixed, and by that you'll attain all perfection. He gives these two verses, Mahaprabhu's verse, and then a very similar verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And now here are some practical instructions. First, just what should your Japamala be like? So it's like the very external instruction. It gives from Hari Bhakti Vilas 17, 1, 12, 99. Anyways, it's a bunch of verses. What time is it? Let's read about Rakeshwar Pandit now. But yeah, we'll read about that. A Japamala made of tulsi or of precious stones fulfills all kinds of inner desires. A Japamala shaped like a cow's tail or a snake is auspicious. One should not touch the Japamala with the forefinger. One should not swing or shake the mala again and again while chanting. Chant and change the direction of the mala using the thumb and middle finger. Okay, so you don't go past the big Krishna bead, but you go, all that. Don't touch the mala with the left hand. Don't let it fall from the hand. God, that happens to me when I get too sleepy and it falls from my hand. Don't let that happen. and those who desire material enjoyment and those who desire liberation chant with the middle finger. And then he gives this verse. So that's like all the external things to do with the Japamala. And now internally, this verse, and this is what I really wanted to go over today. This is what I wanted to spend most of our time today going over, but we ran out of time, so we'll go over this tomorrow. But it took me extra long today because I didn't have anything at all figured out. I was trying to figure it out all together right here now. So it took me a while, and I still don't. Anyways, yeah. So, but there's this verse, Mana Sangharanam Shocham, Monam Mantrartha Chintanam, Avyagratvam Anirvedo, Japa Sampatti Hetava. While chanting, oh, this translation though doesn't really follow this Sanskrit word order. I don't really know the meaning of this so clearly, but I think mana sangharanam, that's like mana sangyog. That means completely making the mind one pointed and focused, withdrawing it from any external things and then focusing it completely on the name. So these are like the different to get perfection in chanting, right? It says hetava means the cause. All these 5 things here is that hetava is the cause of the perfection, the sampatti of chanting, of japa. How you want to get the wealth and the perfection of chanting? Well, the cause of it, like you do these things here. This is the manual. Mana sangharanam. You first withdraw it from any external things and focus it only on the name. And your mind should be pure. You should be pure externally and internally. So if you watch a movie and you try chanting, your mind's not going to be pure. It just got filled with all this crap. As if you're so internally, externally, you're pure. And monam, you should not speak about anything other than Krishna. If you speak about other topics and then you try to chant, you're not going to get perfect. Your chanting is not going to be strong. And when you chant mantrartha chintanam, you should contemplate, you should think about the meaning, the artha of the mantra that you're chanting. And in the next verse, he's going to explain the artha for the Mahamantra, the meaning of the Mahamantra from Gopal Guru Goswami. And then avyagratvam. I'm still not totally clear what avyagratvam means. Like in the Bengali dictionary, avyagratvam, avyagra means not ardent or eager, listless, indifferently. No, I don't think that's. I think here it's patient, steadfast and patient, it says here. And then Anurveda, I think is not chanting with despondency or anything, but chanting with like, having some hope, you know? So one is like, okay, Avyagata is like, yeah, it might be taking a long time. I'm chanting. It doesn't seem like there's any, I don't see what the effect is, you know? It just seems like everything was like the same. Like, but don't, this means being steady and not being restless, but just continue the practice no matter how difficult it is. I think that's what it is, Avyagaratam. And then Anirveda means don't be hopeless when you chant. No, this like have chant with some faith, not no despondency. Anirveda. Let's see. Nirveda, it's the opposite of Nirved. Nirved. What's Nirved? Nirved means apathy, callousness, indifference, disgust, dejection, despondence. I don't know. Tomorrow this is what we're going to explore. What's Avyagaratam? What's Anirveda? But then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives in Bengali he says, Japakale manake ekagra bhave loho. So at the time of chanting, Japakale, manake, your mind, ekagra bhave loho. Take your mind and make it fixed, one pointedly focus your mind. And chitte shuddhatako, and purify your mind. Your mind should remain pure. Vritta kata nahi koho, and don't speak vritta kata, useless topics. Nahi koho, don't speak. Then nam artha chintaho. So contemplate the artha of nam, sada, always. And dharya shrai koro. Dharya means patience. Take shelter of patience. Dharya shrai koro. Okay, so that's what Avyagaratam I think is, being patient, taking shelter of patience when you chant. Don't be restless. And then namete adar kori. Krishna nam smoro. So Anirveda. Some of these words for Nirved was despondence, disgust, indifference, right? Indifference is a word here. And then the opposite of indifference is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says here. The adar, with honor and respect. When you chant Nam, you should chant with honor and respect. Krishna Nam Smaro. So remember Krishna Nam in this way. Okay, so it's a bit more clear now that we've looked at Bhaktivinoda Thakur's thing here, what these mean. And then my Gurudev, I wanted to go through this today, which we're not going to go through. We'll go through this tomorrow, but my Gurudev explains in, let's see, in Bhajana-rahasya. Oh, I found it. In the Hindi Bhajana-rahasya, there's Pancha Anga. There's 5 other things to that one should do in order to gain perfection in mantra, either Gayatri mantra or Mahamantra chanting, like chanting on your beads. And they're very interesting. Nyas, Prapatti, Sharanagati. And also Shachi Devi, she shared with me something that Gurudev spoke on this topic, which I will read tomorrow as well. 5 extra things. So like one was, I can't remember. I think one was like doing it for the pleasure of the mantra devata. The object of the mantra, you should be chanting it with their pleasure in mind. So we're chanting and we should do it thinking that Krishna will be happy by this chanting, something like that. And then the next was, I can't remember. We'll read it tomorrow though. It's all right, it is 8 o'clock. So I am going to end now. I'll just do a short Mahamantra and then I'll do an extra program. Like, if anybody needs to go, that's totally fine. But then anybody wants to stay longer, then I'll read about Vikeshwar Pandit. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Just one thing I was thinking this morning, this Bhajana-rahasya isn't something that you read and then you move on. Like it's not like another book where it just has some information, you read it, you understand it, and then you move on to the next thing. But Bhajana-rahasya is really, it's like it's a it's the daily guide for how we engage in bhajan. So these verses that we're going through are they're meant to be contemplated on, and like when we're chanting every single day. Yeah, so it's not something that you move on from. It's something that you continuously do until you attain perfection. Yeah, and so yeah. And this is my first time ever reading Bhajana. I mean, I once proofread the book for like the latest edition, which I just read through it quickly, and I was just looking for like diacritic stuff and all that. So I didn't read it properly, but this is like my first time ever reading it. And so as you can tell, I'm very unfamiliar with everything in here, and all the verses, the meaning of the words, and trying to understand the flow and all of that. And so um, but this is my first go at it. But at some point in the future, once I've spent some time with Bhajana-rahasya and I'm just start to begin and understand, I'd like to do another program. And I think it'd be really nice if we could revise it so many times that we actually start to really like it starts to make an imprint, and we can, like, when we chant, you can just meditate on the different verses that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we understand where it fits and the flow of it all, and like then that's the secret of performing bhajan rahasya, right? He's telling us the exact process, how we can um, attain perfection in the process. Yeah, okay, sorry. Okay. Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai, Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai, Jai Srila Param Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sharda Gosai Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanantari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Shri Bhajana-rahasya ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Shikṣāṣṭaka ki jai, Jai Shri Vakreshwar Pandit ki jai, Todya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay. Nobody emphasizes Harinam like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur does. It's everywhere. It's the main thing that he always emphasizes in everything that he writes is Harinam, the importance of Harinam. And then also we've noticed that he doesn't, when he presents Harinam, in so many different places we've read this now, maybe I think 5 different places, just in our readings like that we've been doing recently. he would first explain the glories of, he did this twice in Harinam Chintamani. First, he'd explain Dashmula Tattva. First, we have to have an understanding of Sambandha and our relationship with Krishna, have some understanding of Tattva and like that. And then he would get into the Nam Tattva. But if we chant without any kind of understanding, like it's a whole other thing when you're chanting with some understanding of who Krishna is, who I am, What is our relationship? You have some understanding of Sambandha Gyan, and then you chant, then your chanting is infinitely more powerful. And so he always emphasizes Dashmula Tattva and then Nam. That's how it is in Jaiva Dharma also. It goes to Dashmula Tattva and then 3 chapters on Nam Tattva. Okay. All right, so Dandavat Pranams, all devotees who've joined. Dandavat Nri Hariprabhu, Bhavatarini Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and all the other devotees who are watching right now. I only see those 2 names so far, but and also pranams to all devotees watching in the future. So for anybody who wants to stay longer, I am going to read about Vakeshwara Pandit today, whose appearance day it is. Let's see. This is beautiful. Oh, it disappeared. 1 second. Kindle. There. Okay. So, where's Vakeshwar Pandit? Vakeshwar. I wish it was, oh, there it is. 21. Okay. So, Vyuhasturyo Niruddhoya Savakreshwara Pandita Krishna Veshaja Nrityena Prabhu Sukham Ajijanat Sahasra Gayakan Mahyan Dehi Tvam Karunamaya Iti Chaitanya Padesa Uvacha Madhurang Vacha Swaprakasha Vibhedena Dashirekha Tamavishat. This is from Gorgonadashtipika, verse 71. It says, Vakreshwar Pandit is the 4th member of the Chatur Vyuha. He is Aniruddha in the Chatur Vyuha. He brought happiness to the Lord by dancing and the absorption of Krishna. He would sweetly say to Mahaprabhu, he'd say, "Oh, merciful Lord, give me 1,000 singers so that I can dance." Radha's dear Saki, Shashi Rekha, also entered into him. So Vakreshwar Pandit is Radharani's dear Saki, Shashi Rekha, and also Aniruddha in the Chaturvyuha. And he is probably, out of all the associates, he's probably the most famous for his dancing. Doesn't he dance for 72 hours straight or something like that? And I think Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj said that how it's not humanly possible for somebody to dance for 72 hours straight. So how did Vikreshwar, like a body can't handle that? Like somebody would die if they tried to dance for 72 hours straight. No sleeping, no eating, no doing anything else. Like it's not physically possible. But how is it possible? Because Krishna was dancing inside Vakreshwar Pandit's heart. And so his body was just whatever dances Krishna was doing on the inside, his body was just like his Krishna was dancing and his body was just following that. Something like that. I remember Srila Bharati Maharaj saying something like that. Okay, so Sri Vakreshwar Pandit appeared in Guptipara near Triveni on the 5th day of the waning moon in the month of Ashad. There's a vigraha of Vakreshwar Pandit. Sri Vakreshwar Pandit revealed such great potency that he danced non-stop for 3 days. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote the following summary of Vakreshwar Pandit. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 10, verses 17 to 20. Vakreshwar Pandit is the Lord's dear servant. He danced without rest for 72 hours. Mahaprabhu personally sang when Vakreshwar Pandit danced. And thus, Vakreshwar Pandit fell down at the Lord's feet and said, "Oh, moon-faced Lord, give me 10,000 Gandharvas. It will make me happy if I can dance as they sing." The Lord answered, "I have only one wing like you. If I had another, I could fly in the sky." Okay, so then Vakreshwar and Devananda Pandit. Vakreshwar was also present in the kirtans at the house of Srivas and Chandrasekhar, where he would dance ecstatically. Vakreshwar Pandit was so dear to Mahaprabhu that Devananda Pandit was freed of his offenses to Srivas Pandit and received Mahaprabhu's mercy through serving him. In answer to a Brahman's question, Mahaprabhu explained how to atone for offenses to the Vaishnavas. Okay. So this is from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Khanda, chapter 3, verses 449 to 458. That's what we're reading now. It says, "Listen, Brahman, if you want to be cured after consuming poison, you must ingest ambrosia through the very same mouth that took the poison. That way, not only will the poison become digested, but your body will become immortal through ambrosia's divine power. Now let me answer your question. Whatever blasphemies you have unknowingly made are exactly like the poison that you have eaten. Now you must use the same mouth to constantly glorify Krishna's name and qualities, which are like ambrosia. You have used your tongue to insult the devotees. Now use it to glorify them. Glorify the devotees in songs and poetry as the best of humanity. I will destroy all the poison of blasphemy through the ambrosia of the ecstasies of Krishna's glories. Everyone has unknowingly committed offenses. This is the truth. If you should stop all kinds of offensive activity and simply engage in praising Krishna and his devotees, then you will be free from all the sins you have committed, however numerous they may be. You will not be able to achieve the same results through millions of atonements." Wow, that's how it's so essential that we need to glorify the Vaishnavas, the devotees, and Krishna and his devotees. That is what will counteract all the offenses. And not only will it counteract it, but it will give us life. It's the ambrosia. Not only will we destroy all our offenses, we will attain perfection. So then Srila Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur comments on this in this section of Chaitanya Bhagavat. He says, "An offensive person will only attain the ultimate good by using the tongue with which he had made his blasphemous comments to acknowledge his offense, and then to glorify Krishna's devotees." Okay, this is important. He says that you must use that tongue to acknowledge the offense. Don't just pretend you didn't ever make any offense. You should acknowledge it, and then glorify Krishna's devotees. If you take poison, it will disrupt the body's functioning. But you can remedy the situation by taking a medicine that destroys its effects. Similarly, the way to become free from the effects of offenses to a Vaishnava is to first of all stop the poisonous activity. Then, rather than performing thousands of other ineffective atonement rituals, one should glorify the Vaishnava. And he continues, "Through serving the devotee, Kulia's Devananda Pandit became a believer in Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. This good fortune visited him when Vakreshwar came to stay in his house. Vakreshwar Pandit came to stay in Devananda Pandit's house. Devananda Pandit was a follower of the Smartha path, but was nevertheless a great scholar and very renounced. He read no scripture other than the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was devoted to the Supreme Lord and was free from the domination of his senses. Nevertheless, he was not a believer in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By Vakreshwar's mercy, this foolish misunderstanding was dispelled, and he developed faith in the Lord." And now, this is that was Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's commentary, his Gaudiya Bhashya. And now this is from the same chapter of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Vrindavan Thakur says, "Vakreshwar Pandit was very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His remembrance of him will purify the entire creation. He is the embodiment of Krishna Prem. He was always in ecstasy, and both gods and demons are enchanted by his dancing. Even the demons are enchanted by his dancing." Then Mahaprabhu himself described Vakreshwar Pandit's glories to Devananda Pandit. So Mahaprabhu said, this is in that same chapter of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Mahaprabhu says, you have served Vakreshwar and have thus come into my presence. Vakreshwar Pandit is the Lord's complete energy. So whoever pays homage to him attains Krishna. Krishna has made his home in Vakreshwar's heart, Okay, here, this is what Srila Bharati Maharaj was saying. This is what I remember him saying. Krishna dances in order to make Vakreshwar dance. Krishna dances in order to make Vakreshwar dance. So he's dancing because Krishna is dancing in his heart, therefore Vakreshwar is dancing externally. If any place becomes associated with Vakreshwar, it immediately becomes the equivalent of Vaikuntha and equal to all holy places. Mahaprabhu had absolved Devananda Pandit of his offenses. He affectionately gave him many instructions. Mahaprabhu said, those vain egoists who are proud of their scholarship cannot understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the prerogative of the surrendered devotee, the Sharanagata, the surrendered devotee. The only object of the scriptural Bhagavatam is to elucidate pure devotion. So it is not different from the pure devotee. One who speaks from Srimad Bhagavatam with this knowledge will attain the supreme auspiciousness. One who thinks, I understand Srimad Bhagavatam, that person does not really know Srimad Bhagavatam's central meaning. On the other hand, an ignorant person who takes shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam will directly perceive its meaning. Srimad Bhagavatam is pure love and Lord Krishna himself. Srimad Bhagavatam recounts Krishna's most intimate activities. After recounting the Vedas and the Puranas, Vedavyas felt unsatisfied. But as soon as Srimad Bhagavatam manifested on his tongue, his mind was immediately satisfied. Okay, this is the last section. Just a little bit left. Gopal Guru Goswami. When Vakreshwar came to live at Puri, he would accompany Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya, and other devotees to Tota Gopinath to hear Gadadhar Pandit give discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam. One should hear the book Bhagavatam from the devotee Bhagavatam. One should hear the book Bhagavatam from the devotee Bhagavatam. Gopal Guru Goswami, whose previous name was Makar Dhwaja Pandit, was Vakreshwar Pandit's disciple. In his childhood, Gopal Guru personally served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is said that he also displayed extraordinary powers. When Abhiram Thakur came to pay him obeisances, Mahaprabhu took Gopal on his lap to protect him, right? Because whenever Abhiram Thakur would offer obeisances to a person would die, right? A child would die. So Mahaprabhu gave Gopal the name Guru because he instructed people to chant Krishna's name in all circumstances. Oops, whether pure or impure. We know that story of when Mahaprabhu went to use the bathroom and Gopal Guru asked him, why are you holding your tongue? Anyway, said past him. Before leaving his body, Gopal Guru turned over the service of his Radha Kanta Didi to his disciple Dhyana Chandra Goswami. After his disappearance, when Gopal Guru's body was taken to the Swargadwara to be cremated, some representatives of the king came and closed the Radha Kanta Mat. Dhyana Chandra was so distressed that he began to cry aloud. Then Gopal Guru arose from the funeral pyre. He returned to Radhakanta's temple and resolved the problem before going back to the crematorium. Even after that, however, Gopal Guru appeared in Vrindavan, where devotees were amazed to witness him engaged in his devotions. A deity of Gopal Guru is still worshipped at Radhakanta Mat. Many people in Orissa are initiated in Vakreshwar Pandit's line and consider themselves to be Gaudiya Vaishnavas. In the Radhakanta Mat, which is Vakreshwar Pandit's, right? Oh, who's calling me? I'll have to answer that later. Okay, so during Rath Yatra at Puri, Vakreshwar was the chief dancer in the fourth Kirtan Sampradaya, whose lead singer was Govinda Ghosh. He is sometimes described as a branch of Chaitanya, or alternatively, as a branch of Gadadhar Pandit. Vakreshwar Pandit's disappearance day is the 6th day of the waxing moon in the month of Ashad, and today is his appearance day. All right, that's our program for today. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. Dandavat pranams, Ndri Hari Babu, and everybody else there. Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, everybody watching in the future. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow. Jai Vakreshwar Pandit ki jai.
Jai. Dandavat pranams to all and you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Dandavat pranams. Hari Bol, Ndri Hari Babu. Hare Krishna. Right, Jai Shri Rai. See you all tomorrow. And tomorrow will be a good tomorrow will be a very practical class. How to focus. What are the steps that we should do when we chant Nam on our Japamala or when we do our Anik? It will be all practical instructions. That's the topic for tomorrow. I really need it. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.